your name, some restrictions that they have. All right, Tess, I'm going to hand the platform over to you. I'm going to hide myself, and let's hope that our internets last this time.
Yeah, yeah. Hold space for me that the internet works this time. So hello again. Welcome to our monthly soul powered activation series. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for that warm welcome and for this opportunity to share my message in your group. So, a lot has happened since I was here in front of you. Since the last activation, we talked about activating certainty in uncertain times. And I talked about, even before the corona times, that old world of fear, control, manipulation is going out. It's done. We cannot go back to that same world any longer because it's not sustainable. It's no longer serving us. So that old normal has got to go and it's gone. So we just got to let it go. And what do we need to do now is step up into soul powered leadership, right? So, yeah, so even before the coronavirus, we were in a pattern of self destruction already. So, the past 4 weeks since I was here last has been a roller coaster of emotions, right? Am I the only one? Let me know, how has it been for you? I noticed that, we have the COVID-19 as a pandemic, but the fear itself is a bigger pandemic in itself. Um, no one's life was safe. No one's life was untouched. No one's life is ever going to be the same again because of COVID-19. There was a lot of apprehension, a lot of health concerns, a lot of economic uncertainty, a lot of grasping for control, for understanding, but there's also a lot of great love and innovation. And I know for myself, I had to get through a really exhausting amount of time to go through a whole lot of information. Some of it new to me, some of it I could intuit, I could feel in on an intuitive level. It took me to a really deep level of fear. And the good thing about it is it also opened me up to greater levels of freedom, greater depths of self expression, and inner confidence. It's if you surrender to that process, it's so amazing. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, right? So I had to be really disciplined in pulling myself away from the mind's obsession to know, uh, because creating a sense of safety is self-love. It's our primary need to feel safe, and it's part of self-love to create that safety for ourselves. And it's also self-love to pull away from toxic energy, especially when it's very damaging. And if we cannot function in the world, then we need to create that structure and come back to functionality, come back to life, right? So, but it's it was a shock to everybody, right? It's like we were shocked to our core. And so we were grasping for control, we were grasping for safety, and that's okay. We need to honor where we are and also honor also our other needs, our physical needs to feel safe, our emotional needs to feel honored and self-expressed, our mental needs to know what's going on, and our spiritual need to be fully expressed, to be here, our soul to be here right now. So a lot of that is happening. So when when faced with too much uncertainty, it really was challenging for me and Please share what's been your experience to, to step into self leadership. Everything got shaken to the core. So it's going to take self leadership, self ownership to really honor yourself, not just on the level of the physical reality, but on an integrated body, mind, soul, spirit, right? On the level of emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. So, in my work, those are the four pillars that need to be in alignment and working together as a unified field, as a pillar of strength, as a soul power. So, while um, you are tending on your physical needs, right? For safety, for security, to have food on the table, to function efficiently and effectively. Um, I mentioned this last time that the mind's job, when it feels unsafe, it'll try to take over because its job is to protect you and keep you safe. And that's the job of the mind. And part of self love and self mastery and self leadership is to say, okay, mind, I got this. I'm in charge now. And so give your mind what it needs, but also don't allow it to dwell in despair, in hopelessness, in powerlessness. Bring in your higher self, bring in your soul power, and really connect deep within yourself and source from within. Resource, right? Bring in the energy of love, of hope, of joy, of harmony, whatever it is that you're wishing to experience in the world, you can generate that from inside of you and take back control and power and certainty by taking the step, taking self leadership first, right? And so that's the gift of COVID 19. It forced us to go within, and there's nowhere to go but to be in silence and solitude. And that's what I want to talk about today: silence and solitude, right? We got nowhere else to go. We're physically isolated. Bars, dine in restaurants, even churches have to go live stream online, right? They're closed. And now that the weather is nice in this part of the world, at least where I am, some parks and beaches are closed. So, whew, right? So it's really a whole different world we're in right now. And what do? We're not all meant to be hermits. I know I am. A lot of introverts out there, right? But here we are. I believe we're wiser. We have more sense of self, more clarity, more innovation, more creativity, and more certainty about what we want and what we're no longer willing to compromise or sacrifice or put up with. And so solitude and silence are the gifts of Corona times, among many others. But for right now, I want to focus on really cultivating solitude and silence because it's so vitally important to our health, to our well being, to the collective consciousness that's awakening. There's panic and uncertainty and shock. Whatever it was that we were familiar with is no longer there, right? We're being creative on how to function differently in the world, and we're creating that together. So we've been given this great opportunity to heal at the level of soul, and healing really means bringing ourselves back together as one, wholeness, oneness, fullness, right? So coaches, leaders, change makers, you really are the pioneers of this new world. It's such an exciting time. We are born to lead in challenging times. We are here to lead the world out of darkness, to bring light, right? What is it that we didn't like in the old world? What is it that we want to create now? So it's going to be fun and play, but also a lot of healing, a lot of integration from soul level, and that's honoring every aspect of our being, from the physical aspect, from the emotional aspect, from the mental aspect, the spiritual aspect, no parts left behind. Okay, so it's really, really an opportunity to unify in ourselves. And this, I believe, this is the space that we can offer out there. We cannot, uh, as long as we're in the energy of fight or separation or divisiveness of um, good, bad, right, or wrong. Oh, they did this. As long as we're pointing fingers, or as long as we're waiting for someone to rescue us, or as long as we're in that energy of proving that someone did something wrong, and we're looking for justice, I believe that's still an energy of separation, and that will still create a vibration of separation and chaos out there. And so I really believe that it really has to start within us. The healing need to come inside of us, from within us, and heal on a soul level, not just the physical level, not just the health, but really integrating all parts of our beingness, no parts left behind. And as soul powered leaders, we are here to show the world, purpose, potential, and power. How do we stand in purpose, power, and potential so strongly that we are not swayed in the outside world, right? So, in a crazy time where our silence and isolation is being imposed upon us, how can we surrender to that and accept it, not in a disempowering way, but make better use of the opportunity being given to us, and also not succumb to fear and not fall apart with the dismantling of the old world. Does that make sense? It's how can we open our heart even more when they are asking us. It seems like that they're asking us for our freedom, and it seems like we're giving up our freedom, but we're not. But from coming into this place, into this, and there's I'm very much aware that what I'm telling you is really what I'm telling myself. There's different levels of mastery, right? There's intellectual level, then there's the applied knowledge, then there's the teaching part where you teach what you need to know. And I know I'm coming from that space right now. I need to teach this because this is exactly what I need to move on to the next level of my evolution. Please share with me where you're at in your stage of leadership, right? So this message right here is exactly what I need to do because I vacillate. I really, really need to rein in myself to focus on what it is that is in highest alignment with my vision, with my purpose, with my mission, and how to really step into that leadership. So if I'm talking like this, I'm really talking to myself. I teach what I need to learn the most. So how can I open my heart even more when I am so afraid that my freedom itself is being taken away? I know on an intellectual level that that's not going to happen. I know deep inside of me, I have a deeper knowing that there's no way, you know, but there has to be an integration that happens, a reconciliation inside of me that happens in order to really embody this, to really anchor this knowing that my freedom is not at stake here. My freedom is not at risk. And it cannot be taken away. I have freedom of choice. I have freedom of decision. It's all that. So on the surface, it looks like they are asking us to give up our freedom, but they can't have it. So how can we use that opportunity to even rise up in consciousness, rise up, right, in higher awareness, and really use this to our advantage, to the up leveling of the world, to the healing of the world, to the awakening of global consciousness. So that's where I'm at. I'm hoping I am making sense at all. Okay, so Ralph Waldo Emerson says here, it is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after your own. But the great man is he who, in the midst of the crowd, keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude. That's Ralph Waldo Emerson. So the challenge that the invitation here is cultivating the inner solitude and silence so that we are set free. We are set free from the chatter of the mind. We are set free from fear itself. We are set free from loneliness, from the isolation, right? So this is really our path to soul power. And I have another quote here by Richard Foster. If we possess inward solitude, we do not fear being alone, for we know that we are not alone. Neither do we fear being with others, for they do not control us. That's very important to me. They do not control us. In the midst of noise and confusion, we are settled into a deep inner silence. Whether alone or among people, we always carry with us a portable sanctuary of the heart. Richard Foster. And I really love that. That gives me a lot of comfort. Um, when I came across that paragraph by Richard Foster. When solitude and silence, when we cultivate it, it really strengthens our soul. We connect to our soul really, really deep. There's that oneness with our soul. And it's like a physicalization of our soul here, embodied right here. And the more you spend time in silence and solitude, the better you can hear the guidance, the inner voice inside, right? The voice, the nudges of the soul. That is our guidance. That's wisdom. That's intuition. That's the voice of God. That's the universe prompting us. So through silence and solitude, we discover new insights. We get better sense of ourselves. When we are in the hustle and bustle, before coronavirus, right? The external world was so noisy. Our the demands on our attention was too much. When I talk to my clients, it's a surprise to them when, oh my god, I can sleep in, or oh my god, there's so many things available to them now that they don't feel like a robot doing ritual after ritual, routine after routine, day in, day out. They'd forgotten who they are. So we really lose ourselves. We get distracted. We can't hear our own thoughts when we are so connected with the external world. And so, and what happens too is we get so wrapped up with history, with the past events, or so worried about the future, right? So in order to feel more confidence and balance and control of our life, we really need to take back control of our mind. We need to take back our minds through silence and solitude, and come back to present, right here, right now. Again, I'm telling myself that. It's exactly what I need to practice myself. Otherwise, it's there's just too many information unfolding right now that can create fear, can create, oh well, we whenever I try to jump ahead, I know I'm so attached to the outcome. I know I need to pull away and pull back and really be here in the present. And it's such I wouldn't say it's a struggle, but it's such a practice. It's such a moment to moment intentionality. And I would love to hear your experience with that. How do you not just listen to all the YouTube videos of the um, new information coming, and it's coming to light that I only had a feeling before, but now it's like, oh my God, I knew that, or something. Oh my God. Anyway, so much discovery, so much revelation. And who do you trust? There's so many conflicting information out there. Who do you trust? The only person you can trust is really the voice in your head, your intuition. You really can only trust your soul, your light, the truth inside of you. So if we fully receive the gifts of Corona, our crown, right? Inside the gift of Corona is the gifts of solitude and silence. And inside it is discernment. You get clarity, you get better focus, more flow. You have a sense of direction. You know exactly where you want to go and where you're going. That's with solitude and silence. Real deep connection with the soul. Your intuition is sharpened and heightened. Your level of frequency, your vibrational frequency is lighter and higher, right? Your sense of vitality, it's just yummy. Right? And so your inner certainty, you just know, you have a knowing, and it's there's no argument there. You just know. And then with that inner certainty, you have strong decision making. You're no longer going back and forth, questioning yourself, doubting yourself. When you really cultivate silence and solitude and connection with your soul, your decision making skills are strong. And then emotional stability, you have a sense of calm, you feel relaxed, you are centered, and wholeness, experiencing ourselves in a whole new way, not just what we got to express ourselves before, but now there's a whole new light to a whole different aspect and dimension of us that's showing up if we are open to seeing those gifts. And this brings us back to wholeness, because experiencing some of our gifts and talents lay dormant underneath the noise, underneath the discomfort of loneliness, of emptiness that we didn't want to acknowledge before. And now with coronavirus, now that with physical distancing, we had to confront it with that fear of loneliness, that fear of emptiness. We had to confront it, and we are so much better for it, right? So um, it's just amazing. So now it's really working on the wholeness of it, and really welcoming other parts and expressions of ourselves. I know for myself that I'm experiencing some kind of boldness, that's necessary for me to step into leadership, right? To really own my brand, soul powered leaders, right? So I'm experiencing and witnessing and allowing myself, giving myself lots and lots and lots of permission to be this new whole side of me that I've never experienced before, but now being given an opportunity so that I can explore it, so that I can experience it, so that I can expand upon it. And I'd love for you to share what it is that you learned about you that you can cultivate and really own the gifts of coronavirus. So, all right, so breathe that in. No parts left behind, because underneath the pain, underneath the discomfort, there's that unique gift that's just been waiting for you to activate. And whatever that is for you, I'd love to know, right? So yeah, so this really is an invitation to bring all of ourselves back, to call all of our expressions into wholeness, compared to the messaging of not enoughness in the old world, the messaging of you're not worthy in the old world. Now the invitation is to step into soul power, to step into self worth, to step into higher contribution, to step into what your soul came here to do. And that is so fulfilling and that is so rewarding. And the wholeness, right? You're standing in your truth and really connecting with that deeper knowing that you are safe, that no matter what's going on out there, you are safe, you are certain, you are connected on the inside of you, beyond the physical, beyond the material needs, beyond, what we can perceive through our physical eyes. So clinging to that old world is no longer going to serve us. It's important that us, soul powered leaders and change makers, step up and step into what we came here to do. All right. So you know this, and I'm just reminding you, and at the same time, reminding myself what's important. What's important is the liberation of our soul.